Hey, welcome back to another episode of EGE at the Movies. In this week's episode, I'm going to compare Train to Busan, a Korean zombie movie, with this season's Walking Dead. I'm also going to discuss why it's just so hard to make an independent film these days. Coming up next on EGE. A TV, baby. Woo! TV. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here at EGE TV. We're only about a month and a half into this project, so we're still having some growing pains, but thanks for staying with us. So as I said, I'm going to give a quick review on Train to Busan starting right now. Simply put, it's on Netflix. Right now, I think it just went on Netflix. You can get it on Amazon. I think Prime, if not Prime, for sure you can rent it for $2 or $3. And it's a solid little zombie film. It's not really a little zombie film now that I think about it. This movie had a big budget. I'm not sure what the budget was, but they had access to these bullet trains in Korea. Has a very big cast, lots of costumes, a decent amount of gore, although not the kind of gore that zombie fans may be looking for. More like pale skin, veins drawn on, contact lenses, some blood, but not the guts that you'd expect to see in The Walking Dead. The story moves decently fast once they get on the train. There's about 25 minutes to a half hour before that. That's basically useless. It's all just showing us one of the leading characters is a douchebag. Okay, we got it after about the 90th time you call him a douchebag. And they keep on making him a douchebag well into the film, so we really don't need that kind of build-up. But once they get to the train and once they get going and the zombies start to attack, it's a pretty good film. It has the same problems that most end-of-the-world films have, including almost all zombie films, which is that the actors have a really hard time really portraying just how terrifying it would be to see the world ending all around you. The idea that everyone is going to be dead, or that you might be dead, or that, oh my God, they might try to nuke our country just to stop this thing from spreading. There's almost none of that in this film. They seem very blasé about the fact that this horrible thing is happening. None of them seem to want to really get off the train to escape. None of them really has a plan for what they're going to do when they get off the train eventually. There's a kind of Walking Dead-esque lack of reality in terms of how the characters react to this unnatural situation, which is always a negative for these kind of films. The action itself is solid when they actually are battling the zombies, when the zombies are chasing them. It is fairly intense. It does work pretty well. They do try to stick to their own mythos, which is basically that of World War Z. You get bit, you change over pretty quick, and then you run after humans, and you try to bitey on them. So, excuse me. It's a good movie. It's worth watching. But it's not gonna light your world on fire, I don't think. But the reality is that Train to Busan is very popular right now, I think, because there's not a whole lot of alternatives. It's been 4 years since World War Z, 8 or 9, since Zombieland, I think. Our own zombie movie, Living Dead World, that came out 8 or 9 years ago. And basically all you're left with in terms of Hollywood films or Hollywood product is The Walking Dead, which has been simply awful this season. The worst episode, maybe the entire 7-year run, just aired on Sunday. It was fantastically boring, totally stupid. You could have literally done the entire story in 5 minutes, maybe even 3. And instead they stretched that thing out to 45, 50 minutes. It's just another glacially paced, incredibly lazy example of TV making. And I know the ratings are down this year. They're still getting good ratings, 10 million plus viewers live a night, which for basic cable is really good. But considering the cultural zeitgeist around this film, considering the popularity of the characters, how long it's been on air, they are really not doing a good enough job this season. And I'm sure the last 2 episodes, we're down to the final 2 episodes, are going to be gangbusters and Negan to get killed and all of that. But I don't know that if it's going to be enough. This season started off with 17 plus million viewers. You had that, very controversial killing of the popular characters, and just in case you haven't seen it, I won't say who. And they've lost 7 million viewers since that. Now, they were never going to keep 17 million. Walking Dead has always started high and then gone lower. Got a mini cut here. Walking Dead has always started off with high viewership and then dropped. But losing 7 million is really not a good sign. And does this show deserve to have 10 million viewers if it keeps on with this incredibly tame and slow storytelling? I don't think so. I think it's really going to hurt the next season when it comes out, and it might be hurting zombie films in general. But that said, Train to Busan is very popular, and I can recommend it. I'll give it 3 out of 5 stars. It could have been better with better music, better actors, a little quicker pace, and a little bit better, how to say it, Jim Cameron study of the problems of how zombie-itis gets spread. What would you do on a train? When you're on the train, all your problems become magnified because where do you pee? If the zombies are taking over the bathroom car, what are you going to eat? All that sort of thing. Those kind of questions really aren't addressed in Train to Busan, and it is one of the film's weaknesses. But, again, compared to Walking Dead, it's pretty good. So check out Train to Busan. Hey, welcome back. One of the things, now I'm asked sometimes because I've been making movies now for 25 years, is why isn't there more independent film out on YouTube or out on Netflix or Amazon Prime right now, considering that the technology level of the cameras, like the camera we're shooting on right now, and the lenses and the editing systems are all so much more cheaper than they were even 10 years ago. And that's absolutely true. You can get a Sony a6300 that can make some simply amazing pictures for under $1,000 used. You can get a Sony Vegas for, I think, $500-600. You can, you can get into movie making for not a lot of money nowadays. So why aren't there more full-length features being made, or for that matter, webisodes? And the answer is really kind of simple. It's because it's always been incredibly hard to make movies. When I got my first movie camera, me and Warpig, Gunslinger, making Deadeye along with Defula, Bob Crow, the guys you see on the show sometimes. And so we ordered a nice Arri S, a nice Oricon, 16 millimeter film cameras, and so now we have these cameras that were better than anything we ever had in film school. We get them out, we get a tripod, okay, we got all this stuff. Now what? A camera is just a tool. The editing is just a tool. The props and all that, those are just tools to help you make a film. You still need to have the script. And scripts are horribly difficult to write and make that are any good, particularly when you're limited in budget. It's one thing, okay, we're going to do a space movie now. We're going to have a colony ship go to planet X, and then aliens are going to attack and blah, blah, blah. Or there's going to be an attack on the Golden Gate Bridge. Or I'm going to do an action sequence where I have 30 helicopters and 100 police cars. And well, you just can't write that kind of thing when you're an independent filmmaker, because you just can't get that level of production for $20,000. You certainly can't get it for $5,000, which is basically what I spend on my movies. So the script, is going to probably be very limited, and they're very hard to generate. If you don't think so, go ahead and get Kel-Tex and try to pound out a 90-page script. They're not that easy to do. And even once you do have a script, now you've got to cast this thing. Well, how the hell are you going to cast? Again, the internet makes it easier to cast now than ever before, because you can put it on the various bulletin boards, but you still need to see their reels. You still need to have them come in and read. You still need to kind of feel out what kind of people they are, because you're not going to be paying them. We're going to be paying them very little. And so you have to develop a relationship with them. So if you're a first-time director and you've never directed anything, it is very daunting to try to get people who've never, maybe don't have a lot of experience and don't have any experience with you, to come and bare their souls in front of this glass monster. Likewise, it's hard to keep a crew who's there working till 2 or 3 in the morning in awful conditions, usually with very little food, cold coffee, and all that, Well, they don't really know you, and you don't have a reputation for greatness yet because you just started off, or even a reputation for badness. For better or for worse, I have some kind of reputation. It's, you know, probably not good. People call me Ed Wood, but that's still something. People know that I can, when I start a film, I'm going to finish a film. When you're just starting out, you know, people don't even know that about you. So it can be very daunting to put all the pieces together that you need for a film: the acting, the scripts, all the props, get all the camera work, the tripod, the dollies, the cranes, you know, fake blood, fake guns, all the costumes, all the things that you need to make a film. They add up rather rapidly. But maybe the hardest thing to do if you're trying to make your own independent film is that if you're the director, you really have to know what everyone else is doing, at least as good as they know it, if not better. Which means you have to know all the camera tech. You have to know what your camera can and can't do, what your editing system can and can't do. Will your camera play nice with your editing system? Where are you aiming this film at? At film festivals? You're going to try to get on Netflix? You're trying to a major release? That all will affect what kind of lenses you use, what kind of camera you get, how many batteries you need. Again, what kind of actors do you want? Of course, everyone wants to have Tom Cruise or whatever, the best actor you can find, but you're not going to get Tom Cruise. So, well, what do you do then? Do you hire someone with a theater background? And those are usually pretty good actors, but American theater actors have a very bad tendency to overact because they're theater actors, so everything's big, 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 whereas film is small. You know, it's all right here. There's a million and one things that you have to know technically wise. You know, what kind of lighting, what lenses, how long can we work, what are the gun laws if you have a bunch of fake guns or if you have real guns, who's going to be the prop master, who's going to be the weapons master, who's going to teach the kung fu to this. I mean, you have to know all of those things pretty well. You have to know that, okay, what kind of microphone are we going to use? Okay, shotgun. Well, what kind of shotgun microphone? Who's going to do the boom? Are we going to make our own boom? Are we going to buy one, DIY it? Not only do you have to know all of that, you have to get all of that. So you have to get all the props: the camera, microphone, recorder, cables, duct tape, chairs, props. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Let's say you've gotten all of that there and you've got your cast. You had them come out to your local high school to audition. You've got a good cast. You've got a decent script, and then bam, and you start. You still have to finish shooting it. There's probably enough films that have been started that only got about halfway done. If you threw them all into the ocean, it'd start a tsunami that would wipe out Japan. There's a lot of independent films that have been started, and a lot of them have not been finished. Ultimately, I think the video camera revolution is going to result in some more features hitting the mainstream, but I think probably the real power of it, at least right now, is in short films, shows like this, reviews, little tiny 5-minute long, 10-minute long, either comedies or horror films, and those can be very good, and sometimes that can get you a deal. But for now, it looks like there hasn't been the big explosion of independent films that I thought maybe the technology would bring. And I think that's why they remain hard to make. Very hard to make. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Check out Train to Busan. I'd say don't check out The Walking Dead if you're not already into it. If you are, well, you're already F like I am. You got to see it through at this point. I hope that show recognizes that they can't do a season 8 like season 7 or they'll kill the franchise. And if you're going to make an independent film, have any questions about that, go ahead and write down below. I'll try to help you out as best I can. We have a huge crew of guys, almost all of them who work in the business now. So if I don't know, they'll know, and we'll at least be able to give you some kind of advice on equipment or technique or whatever, and then you can use it or not use it. Please subscribe. Thanks for coming by, and for sure I'm going to have something up on Friday. I don't know what it is. And then, I don't know, just keep on coming back. Mwah! See you later, YouTube. Woo!